YouTube, Shukun Shubby here with a review of the Power Rangers Super Megaforce Action Heroes Wave 6. Yep, Wave 6. What happened to Wave 5? I don't know. They've only been spotted in, I think, some Walmarts, and maybe a Toys R Us, I don't recall. But I know they've been spotted at Walmarts, and I've only found one figure from Wave 5 in my entire area. So I'm having absolutely zero luck on the Wave 5 front. But shortly after Wave 5 was first found at Walmart's, Wave 6 started popping up at Walgreens. Yep, Walgreens. Cool. So, after hunting numerous Walgreens, I did amount to a full set of Wave 6. And then, of course, right after I did, they started getting spotted at Targets and Toys R Us's, and I've seen them since at said locations, but alas, I did pick them all up from Walgreens. Thank you to everyone who helped me complete my set. So without further ado, Wave 6 includes Zeo Gold in Space Red, Lightspeed Rescue Titanium Ranger, Time Force Quantum Ranger, SPD Omega Ranger, and Super Samurai Red Ranger. Now Wave 6 also includes Super Megaforce Silver and Mighty Morphin White. However, these actually first debuted in Wave 5, not Wave 6. So outside of taking a look at them right here, right now, they will be highlighted in the Wave 5 video, should that ever actually exist. I'm honestly debating about its existence right now. But regardless, Wave 6 is here, and we'll go ahead and take a look at these guys one by one and see who's the best and see who's the worst. Here is Zeo Golden. I like him a lot. Now, Zeo Gold did have a Super Legends release during Jungle Fury, if I remember correctly, and that is a phenomenal figure. It's a great, great figure. But that's not to say that this one is bad. I really dig it. They got the proportions pretty good. The entire head sculpt is actually just really good. I love the way that the head looks. They captured it really well. And there's definitely points to this figure that actually make it better than the Super Legends. Not that that one was bad at all. It was a great figure. But considering the price that one can go for nowadays, picking this one up for $7 to $9 is definitely a lot better than paying like $30 plus for the Super Legends. Like I said, this is a great figure. All the articulation is the same, so I'm just going to go over it right here. Now, he does have some armor that can hinder his articulation, but the full rotation with the pin and swivel joint. Right there, a swivel at the cuff, full rotation at the head sculpt. No waist movement or anything like that, but you do have a swivel joint at the hip and a swivel at the boot cuff. So that covers that. I really do like him. He turned out very good, and he's probably my favorite of this wave, just because I've always really dug the Gold Zeo design. It was a big deal for me when I was a kid. It was our first 6 Ranger since the White Ranger, and I just remember being so excited to find the Gold Zeo Ranger at my Toys R Us when he was new during Power Ranger Zeo. And ever since then, he's always been a close suit to me. I just really dig it. The black and gold color scheme works for me. And it's a great overall figure. It does include the gold power staff in the raised up mode. I don't know if that actually has modes or not, but that's the one you get. The not opened one. But an overall great figure. And we go from great to bad. That's not to say it's a terrible figure. The figure shares the same mold, so it's an alright figure, but the details are just very off, particularly in the chest here. It's got the outline on everything, and obviously the suits do not have a black outline. Plus the white shoulders up here. The white shoulders there end up kind of making like a weird sort of curve here, and it's just too big compared to the actual suits. It looks really off, being on the curvature of the shoulder. It doesn't look that great compared to what it is in the show. The head sculpt isn't bad. I'll give props to the head sculpt. I like the way that the heads are proportioned on these figures. They do a pretty good job. You got the Astro Saber, the Astro Blaster, right there that can peg into the hole on the side of his belt, as well as the Spiral Saber. So that is pretty cool. But yeah, the details on the chest right there just don't particularly cut it for me. Next up is the Titanium Ranger. Seems everybody loves him now. Not that they didn't before. But it does include the titanium axe in the axe mode. You do not get it in the gun mode, which is a little bit unfortunate, but the axe mode is cooler anyway. Done in a nice gold paint that matches the gold paint throughout the figure. Now, Titanium Ranger also got a Super Legends figure way back, and that was a great figure as well. But like I said with the Gold Zeo Ranger, the proportions just really work for me with this action hero mold. The head sculpt is pretty darn good. You even got the whole M design up there on the helmet, so that's really cool. And I like how dark it is. The Titanium Ranger suit was not bright by any means. It was a dark, dull sort of silver. On wow, I just messed up twice. The Super Legends figure was a very bright sort of gray. And it just didn't quite work. But this one matches the color pretty well. It's not quite shiny, but it's got a nice low color to it. And I really like how this one turned out. So this is probably the best Titanium Ranger figure to come out thus far. I really like it. Moving on to one of my favorite Rangers, the Quantum Ranger. He is very cool as well. Not a whole lot to say. You got the Quantum Morpher right there on his wrist. The Quantum Defender right there that can plug into the belt, just like any of the other weapons. Done in a nice silver paint. And that's really about it for this guy. I mean, he's a pretty plain suit, just going off of the base Time Force suits. But it's always been one that I really liked. And again, the head sculpt is pretty darn good on this guy. And I like the details. It's pretty nice. I really wish the Quantum Morpher was painted red. That's probably my only gripe with this figure. And here is SPD Omega. I love Omega's design, and I really like the fact that they got the cuffs on the gauntlets here, the gloves, accurate with the curvature on it. I really dig that. You have the Omega Morpher right there on the wrist. Not painted well, obviously, but it is there. And that's what counts, I suppose. The badge detailing is nice. The head sculpt is great. Everything is embossed and nicely molded. Right down to the SPD logo, right up there on the top of the figure. Back is all nice and painted, which is always appreciated. And I really dig it. They got the whole two-tone sort of thing for the suit going pretty well. Unfortunately, he does not come with any accessories because Omega has no weapons. So he kind of gets the shaft a little bit because he includes absolutely nothing. But regardless, even if he doesn't, it's a darn good figure. They even have the logo right there on his arm, which is really cool. So, definitely accurate, and despite the lack of accessories, one of my favorites of this bunch. Finally, we have Super Samurai Red, and now logically, yes, this should have been a female mold and should have been Lauren. But regardless of that, I'm really glad that they made this figure. Not having a Super Samurai 5-inch figure to go with all of my other figures that I own was quite a bothersome. Yeah, you can go buy the figure art, and I owned the figure art at one point. But it didn't match up with, obviously, all the other Bandai America figures. So I'm really glad that they ended up making this. Now, it obviously has a lot more hindrances in articulation because of the coat. So you can only go back so far and to the side so far. And the shoulder pads up here will hinder horizontal movement. Or vertical movement, rather. But it's a great mold. The head sculpt is pretty much the same as the Samurai one that we took at probably almost a year ago now. And it does include the same Shodo phone, because the Samuraiser never did this. Lauren's did, but this is not Lauren. I guess you could argue, add a skirt, pretend it's Lauren, just buff Lauren. I don't know. You can do whatever. But that's pretty much an inaccurate accessory, so I'll push that aside. And it does come with the spin sword with the black box attached. The black box, unfortunately, does not have really good details on it. It's got the shape, but it doesn't have the actual kanji on it, rather. But it's a nice figure, and I'm really glad that they ended up making a Super Samurai Red, just so that this form can be with all of the others. Like I said, I really do wish that they would have made a 5-inch Lauren figure. I guess you can with some customizing. But I really do wish they would have made one. But regardless of that, I'm glad that this was made. And it's a very great all-around figure. like I said, one of my favorites of the bunch so far. Finally, real quick, just in case I never get a chance to actually look at these guys again, Mighty Morphin White is pretty cool. I won't complain too much about him. Saba is very white. But all in all, a great figure. You can also buy this in the Legacy collection from the White Ranger, which is pretty much the same exact figure with a better painted Saba and a shiny gold shield. That's about the only difference with him. Super Megaforce Silver is a great figure. If you own any of the other Super Megaforce Rangers, you pretty much know what to expect in terms of articulation and design. He does come with the Super Silver Spear in gun mode, which is nice and shiny, and Spear mode, which is just flat gold plastic. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But pretty cool design nonetheless. He's got a nice shiny silver coat to him. So I really dig the way he came out. So overall, Wave 6 is a pretty much win. It's not a super mega win, but it can be a normal mega win, I suppose. The only dud of the line is in Space Red, which just kind of turned out awful. The white shoulders are just a mess, and the chest detailing just doesn't work for me. But all the other figures are really great. Like I said, Zeo Gold is probably my favorite of the bunches because I've always liked that suit, and the figure turned out really good. Same with Titanium. Despite both of them having Super Legends figures, these are still worth the pickup. Super Samurai Red was a really cool one to have, and I'm glad I can finally have a representation of that form in the 5-inch figure scale. And Omega and Quantum aren't a whole lot to shake your head at either. Both are absolutely great figures in their own right. So I can only recommend In Space Red if you're a huge space fan or an absolute completist, but with the other 5 figures in this wave, if you're a fan of that suit at all, I do recommend picking them up because they just turned out really good and they're nice to have on your shelf. So thanks for watching, take care, and have a great one. Bye.